Dirt roads to rock crawling, two-buck chuck to screaming eagle, moonshine to 50-year-old single malt. We talk about it all here on Wheelin' Wine and Whiskey with your hosts, Jason and Chris.
Welcome to Wheelin' Wine and Whiskey bonus episode. Woohoo! Oh man, just cranking out the content, Chris.
Oh my God, we're so busy.
How are you doing?
I'm tired.
I know.
You keep
it's just we've worked our asses off this week. Literally, it's been crazy.
Has Lorenzo worked his ass off?
You know, he sat in the camper the entire time of KOH until a couple nights. He did wander out of the camper a couple nights.
We need to reevaluate.
Staggered
his
out of the
title.
camper, I should say.
Super producer? I don't think so. Mediocre producer? Maybe.
Yeah, he did wander up to the hood of the buggy one night and just kind of curled up, and he thought the hood would be warm. You know, he's kind of like a cat, but he didn't realize it was a rear engine buggy, so the hood was cold as heck, and he wandered back into
he's
the
not very
camper.
bright.
No, he's not. He's useful though. He's a great ass.
Yeehaw.
So,
yeah, keeping
bonus
it pumping
episode
on.
here. We camped with Amber and her family.
That's right.
And this was a
What great
huge
group
camp.
of people. Great group of people.
Huge camp.
I think our camp was like 4 acres.
I can't wait to see the overhead. There was some drones flying over, of course, choppers, all that stuff. You know how they do the flyover for the KOH shows and stuff, and I haven't watched all the live footage, but I guarantee you can find our camp because we're in Hammertown Heights Estates.
Right.
So there's only like 5 or 6 camps above us.
Right.
That, as the week went on. There was like one for the longest time, and then a couple more people jumped in at the top.
The racetrack was like 200 yards away.
It was right there. We could watch from our camp. We could watch that upper part right after they came off of Heartbreak Ridge.
Right, and we could, from there we could Heartbreak Ridge, and then we could see the
Ford Arch, the Bronco Arch.
Yep, everything.
Yeah, that was so cool. Anyways, hanging out with Amber and getting to be part of that team and watch how they
prep.
Well, they prep and hashtag KOH prep. Kevin Jones. But no, just to see her mom and dad are great,
Dolly and
they got their motorhome set up, and they got the whiteboards out, and who's doing what, and all the different pit stuff, and the pit meetings, and we. I didn't want to intrude on their camp this year. I said, hey, we got our group. We'll camp next to you. And she goes, oh, no, you're camping with us. And then, we roll out the kitchen stadium and tents and everything and music and disco ball and
flagpoles.
Yeah, Dolly was so excited. She goes, this is awesome because they're out there volunteering all day.
Yeah,
so not only are they supporting her daughter racing, and Amber, too, is out there volunteering before, after her race, and it's just, oh my gosh, they were working nonstop.
They're crushing it. I mean, you said that at some point Dolly and Eric weren't even getting back to camp until after dark.
Oh yeah,
like 8:30,
they were coming in late.
Night.
Yep, and we're like, hey, we got food, and here you go, and they had a nice warm meal, and then sit around the fire, and then good night.
Yep.
So
I know, right?
But anyways. It was great, and having built this relationship with Amber, just we reached out to her originally year and a half ago, whatever, and just go, hey, we'd love to have you on the podcast, and then it evolved to becoming friends and going to Trail Hero together,
right.
And then visited them at the house doing their final for KOH prior to, and then camping with them.
So
it's been fun to be along for part of this ride of the
wild ride. Yeah,
and so I go, Amber. I said I reached out to the Jessi Combs Foundation. And said, hey, I'd love to do an interview with Jessi Combs Foundation and you. And she's like, oh my God, okay, yeah. She was so excited, right?
Right, absolutely.
And then I didn't realize, I knew Tribe 16 was helping out in the pits from talking to Amber, but I didn't realize how it all tied in. And I knew Matt Howe was there. I don't know. I didn't put 2 and 4 and 6 together, but
well, you're mathematically challenged.
No, actually, math is one of my strong suits.
Oh,
well, no, maybe not. You look at my bank account, not so much, but okay. Hashtag buggy life,
right?
So, reached out. So, long story short, we get to KOH, And Amber goes, okay, we're going down to Tribe 16 pit, which is right on the short course.
Right.
Prime position real estate.
Right next to Shearer's pit.
Exactly. And I'm like, okay. And so, oh my God, the Tribe 16 camp just welcomed us with open arms because we're with Amber.
Right.
If it was just a Wheeling Wine and Whiskey podcast, it would be, oh yeah, here you can
Get
look
out.
around. Okay, now your time's up. 5 minutes, go.
Get out.
But no, got welcomed with open arms and super, super cool people.
Oh, for sure.
From Texas, and met Matt Howe, and I listened to his podcast on the Talent Tank.
Right.
And just that was a great one, and great business talk that he did on there as well. And I always love hearing people talk business, just to because I'm a businessman.
We'll see how they succeed.
Yeah.
What the secret of their success
well,
is.
yeah, and there's not a whole lot of secrets. I mean, treat people how you want to be treated, and make smart decisions, and there you go.
Make more money than you spend.
That's a really good tip right there. That is a pro tip. Anyways, so just meeting them in that camp and that pit, and everybody was so cool. And then he's the president. Matt is co-owner of Tribe 16.
Right.
And president of the Jessi Combs Foundation.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, so kind of got to know him early on, and I'm like, hey, I want to do this podcast, whether it's you or Dana or one of the 6-7 board members,
right.
Just want to make this happen. So it ended up being Matt, which was awesome.
Oh yeah, no, great time.
We went into the Taj Mahal there and recorded this podcast. So without further ado, let's just roll into that, Chris.
Roll it.
All right, Chris, we are here on the lake bed once again with another riveting, exciting podcast.
Heck yeah.
With none other, our good friend Amber Turner.
Amber Turner.
In the Suzuki Samurai. And special guest Matt Howe from Tribe 16, who is also the president of the Jessi Combs Foundation, who is sponsoring you this year.
Correct.
How about that?
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
Hey. All right. Welcome, Matt. So let's talk about this collaboration. And I know previously we talked with you, Amber, and you were super excited to have Jessi Combs Foundation on board because you are like the epitome of like what Jessi Combs was all about. Women, empowering women to be in the industry, and you are the protege of her, basically. You weld just like she did. You fabricate just like she did. You race just like she did. And so it was a natural fit for Jessi Combs Foundation to jump on board and to get recognized like that in your second year at KOH. What are you thinking right now? And you're on the lake bed, and it's rocking and rolling.
Yeah, well, I honestly didn't expect to have this much support this early in racing. 'Cause like you said, it's my only my second year. But having the support of JCF and having the support of all my other sponsors, and this year Tribe a whole lot came on and basically said, "Hey, let's help with your pit." And I was like, "What does that mean?"
What does that mean, Matt?
Well, I mean,
you guys opened up your whole operation to Amber.
Yeah, we've kind of, over the last 5 or 6 years of me racing, and Adam and I, campaigning the 4,500 class, we've put together a program, and we shut down the shop, and everybody comes out for race week, and, we build other cars, so we have some 4,400 cars, 4,500 cars, that we like to support.
Perfect.
So, yeah, we're already set up for it. We already have the tools, the trailers, et cetera. We've got a great spot on the short course at the start-finish line.
That's a great location.
Yeah. And then, we followed Amber last year, and everybody was kind of rooting for the finish. And really, Steve Elms, the chair of the board, is the one that was a big proponent for reaching out. And I think he really took the lead on it, actually, on this case. But watching you last year on the Jumbotron, and everybody's, getting excited and whatnot, it just seemed like an easy fit, not only for JCF, but then, we're already set up as Tribe, so we'll pull you into the fold and just support it all the way around.
Perfect.
So, I mean, that was cool. So the other day you said, oh, we're going over to Tribe 16. I'm like, okay, I'm tagging along because that's what I do, because I roll with the big dogs here, apparently. And so we went over to Tribe 16, and you guys welcomed Amber and us with open arms. to your pit, went over her car so that your crew was familiar with her car since you're helping pit, and then fuel and everything else. I mean, a huge advantage for you, Amber, this year to have some extra professional help, per se. Not that your team wasn't professional last year, but, pretty freaking cool. What do you think of that?
Overwhelmed's not a very good word because it's not a negative emotion.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was kind of funny to be able to tell my pit crew, like, hey, I can retire you guys now. They're like, what?
We don't need you anymore.
They got a little,
we're big time.
They didn't actually get mad. They were actually like super excited about it too. But it's and looking back at the way you put it, Matt, is exactly the same thing I would do if I had the means to do it. Because like I do have a pretty extensive pit crew established already, and like we have no idea what we're doing. You guys obviously do, but like I've reached out to a couple other racers, and I'm like, hey, I've got the manpower. If you need anything, let me know. So,
yeah,
same kind of thing.
That's what this racing, Ultra 4 in general, almost doesn't matter what class, at least as far as I can tell, that everybody's just all in to help each other. I mean, competitors helping fellow competitors. You want to beat your whoever you're up against on their best day, not on a bad day. So,
no. And that whole theory has just transpired throughout Ultra 4 forever, and Shannon Campbell instilled that spirit. And then we heard it when we interviewed Bailey Cole the other night. And
right.
Shear, this guy, a spectator was in Bailey Cole's pit right after he went in submarined. Okay, and he goes, oh, can I just watch? And they go, no, you can't watch. You need to help. And he jumped in there and helped, and now he's part of the pit crew. He's like pit chief there,
right,
crew chief.
Right.
That is so awesome.
I mean, but I hear stories like this on, and then for your story, and then Tribe to jump in and help you out. I mean, it is so freaking cool, and there's no other motorsport out there like this on Earth where everybody is out to help each other, sharing parts, sharing knowledge. Stuff that in the motorsports industry is like kept undercover. We're not telling you how we set up our shocks. We're not telling you how we set up our chassis and all this stuff to win. No, we want you to know everything because we want to beat you out on the course fair and square. And it's so awesome. I love it. Love it.
So I know you went over to the pit a few days ago when you got here on the lake bed, and because you guys wanted to kind of go over the car and familiarize yourself with it.
Absolutely.
How do you feel about the car after you and your team were able to kind of give it a once over?
They still couldn't find the other 4 cylinders.
That's funny. I love that. I think that it's when you're building a car, and Adam and the guys at Tribe build a lot of different chassis,
sure.
And there's an ongoing conversation as to what is too big, what is too small, what is too long, what is too narrow. I love that it's a Samurai.
Right.
I love that Amber loves it, and obviously being coming in here to your camp and seeing all the Samurais here. And I told her on the way over here that I don't think I noticed just how many Samurais are on the lake bed until we started working directly with you. And then I was like, wow, I see 2 or 3 a morning just around breakfast time. So
what's nice about them is when they roll over on the trail, a bunch of people can just pick it up and put it back.
Yeah, I believe it. Back over. Well, I think there's probably a lot of advantages to that little footprint.
No doubt.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
It might not be as fast in the desert, but I bet in the rocks it's nimble and you can kind of work around some things that other cars can't take the same lines.
Absolutely.
That's my advantage. Or if there's a car on the trail that's part of the course now, I can usually get around it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Car that's part of the course.
Exactly.
Nice.
Or hey, that's why I have 2 winches.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah. No, I think as far as what our opinion of the car looked great. It's well prepped. I don't think there was anything that stood out as an issue. I think for us, it's our guys. It's more about understanding what is where and how it's laid out. And if you're coming into pits and there's an issue, they want to know where to start.
Right, right. I get that for sure. That's cool. Well, I mean, it's a testament, I guess, for her Amber second year racing. You kind of worked through all the bugs and kinks last year, and you spent the off season, if you want to call it the off season, doing race prep.
Race prep. Hashtag Ultra 4 Jones.
So, but going into the second season, obviously seeing a seasoned team, kind of give, it sounds like you're giving a thumb seal of approval, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's cool.
For sure.
Right on.
And what's great too is you mentioned there's a lot of Suzuki Samurais on the lake bed. I mean, it's like people can relate to that. This is not some out of reach, quote unquote, race car, right? Because you turned your Suzuki Samurai, your daily driver, with a plate that you drove to work last weekend. Now you're out here on the lake bed racing it. I mean, that's the beauty again of this sport, in that somebody, the average Joe Blow, that is a Ultra 4 fan, can watch somebody like you say, I could take my Suzuki Samurai or my stock whatever and go race it if I really wanted to. And that is really freaking cool.
Yeah, that's one of the coolest things that I think people have said to me this year, because I know there's 2 other Samurais coming, one in 4600 and one in 4500.
There you go.
And both of them are like, I saw you race last year and I wanted to start racing.
So you've inspired people. You're an influencer. You are. You are.
With that.
You are.
Isn't this the kind of the core philosophy of the Jessi Combs Foundation, to empower and women to do things that normally they wouldn't feel that they can do? Or
yeah, absolutely. Either inspire or empower. It's 2 of the pillars, and I think that was the eye opener for us last year. Again, watching on the jumbotron and following your race, and it was just you just couldn't. You had to root for you.
You had to watch. You had to root. The underdog. The underdog on 31.
This drama, of this race, and Danvers going to pull it off. She's going to finish. What's going on? This is our first year racing, et cetera, et cetera. So it's just
and then they're Instagramming live from the lake bed, just because they can.
Oh, we had great cell service on that one.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, it's definitely a story that Jessi would have rallied around. You're somebody that Jessi would have rallied around, and so that made it really simple and easy for us to want to be a part of, or really be a part of your program.
So talk about the Jessi Combs Foundation and how you got involved, Matt, and the board and everything of how this all evolved out of unfortunate circumstances, but so happy to hear that her dream is living on, and so.
Yeah, it was definitely unfortunate circumstances. I was out here in the LA area, actually up here in kind of the Yucca Valley area, with Terry, not long after
Terry Madden.
Not long after Jessi passed, and there's a bunch of us that kind of came together, and she worked or operated in several different genres of motorsports.
Absolutely,
could have been motorcycles, could have been hot rods, could have been land speed,
off-roading, whatever. All of it. She did it all.
Just Jeeps, yeah. So it was interesting to see all these people come together. I knew Terry, and I had met one of her friends, Dana Wilkie, who is also on the board prior, but I didn't know a lot of these people. And so coming together, it really kind of brings all these different genres of motorsports, if you will. And we kind of collectively came together to form the foundation. It's been a lot of work.
Right.
It's tough. We did the memorial or celebration, whatever you want to call it, at Peterson. We'd put that together.
Down in L.A.
Yeah,
in L.A.
down there, yeah.
Peterson Museum was very, very welcoming, open arms, and they helped us pull that off at an epic, amazing event. Mm-hmm. Really allowed us to kind of put on a museum level display. So we had some help there, and we were on the rooftop in there. I don't even know what that thing's called. It's like a glass building.
Yeah, it is, but it's a prime location, and for them to open up their doors and say, "Here you go," that's incredible.
It was great.
A lot of the stuff that was on display there, was that some of the stuff that was at SEMA last year.
Some of that, yeah, it's actually a bigger display at Peterson than at SEMA.
Okay,
but we had built the walls, and a lot of the guys, Cody Wagner at Laser Nut, thankful for him because he helped design them and he drew them up, and then broke them, and then we got them powder coated. Wes here in Yucca helped us get them powder coated, but we were able to pull things off in just records amount of time. And then we had a lot of items that were Jessi's, whether it's motorcycles or helmets or suits or whatever, and we were able to put that on display. And from there we at the same time we were kind of forming the foundation and all the paperwork that goes along with that, and filing, and here we are. So
good. So you sponsored somebody last year?
No, we didn't sponsor.
I mean, this is kind of Amber's. You're like your first driver that you sponsored at KOH, right?
That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
So we spent a year raising funds.
Okay.
We there's very, very little funds that come and stay within the foundation. We donate our time. If we travel, we donate our
Absolutely.
our expense for travel, etc.
And you also do scholarships, correct?
I was going to say. So we were able to really put together a great scholarship package this year for 7 scholars.
Awesome.
All women in different areas of the industry, whether it's diesel mechanic or fabricator or race team. That's one of them works on a race team. Holly works on a race team, and so it's been really interesting to learn and meet these people and understand what they're about and what their stories are. I don't remember how many applications. It was quite a few that we had gotten, and you go through them, and part of it's a video application. So we're watching these videos, and we're looking at their applicant, their needs, where they're going to go to school, what their aspirations are, etc.
Okay.
But it was really, really an eye opener for me, just on how many women are aspiring to do something in the trades or in the motorsports in general, fabrication, etc.
Well, I that's awesome, because you always hear about the trades. People kind of poo-poo the trades, if you will, and Mike Rowe is a huge proponent of the trades. I follow him on Instagram, and we all watch just so Dirty Jobs and whatnot. But he's a huge advocate of that, and obviously to have the Jessi Combs Foundation continue to push on that for women, young ladies and women. That's freaking awesome. I mean,
yeah, and 100% behind that movement, because college isn't for everybody.
No,
and there are some very highly talented people out there with a welder, machining, whatever it may be, male, female, whatever it is, and it's great to promote that, because it's like, oh, you're blue collar, whatever. I don't care. I'm the one making your house run, making your car run, keeping everything going. We need people like that. And to watch shop classes go away from high school, wood shop, metal shop, all that stuff. I luckily grew up in the era. I'm old enough to say that I had wood shop, I had metal shop, I had auto shop. I got to do that stuff, which I am super thankful for, because I can do some stuff. I'm not the greatest fabricator, but I can put stuff together. And did you grow up like that, Amber? Did you have classes like that? Where did you learn your skills to weld and, be,
badass?
Yeah, badass. Let's just say badass, because you are badass.
So that was actually kind of funny, because I grew up in a pretty, affluent area, and they took our auto shop class in my high school and turned it into a robotics class.
Oh my gosh.
Like, we had a lift and a brake and all these really sweet tools, and they just converted it into robotics, because we were in the Bay Area. It's all tech.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And my dad's always been a mechanic, whether that be like motorsport, I think he started as a motorcycle mechanic and then moved into jet skis. Yep. And then finally, when we were kids, he got a job doing concrete pump trucks, so he had the shop to himself. And so I was around him and my grandpa and my 2 brothers wrenching all the time. So when it came time for me to get my own car, I had to learn how to work on it. I didn't have to learn how to work on it, but I wanted to.
Well, that's cool.
So
right on.
That's kind of where that got started. And then I bought my Samurai, and everything went downhill, and I had to build a set of rock sliders for it.
No, I think it went uphill from there.
They don't run very well downhill.
So welding, how did you become, because you weld for a living. So obviously you know how to glue metal together. So, and that's pretty intimidating to a lot of people. You're dealing with crazy power and this welder that's melting metal, and it's hot, and
getting sunburned.
You can get sunburned. You got to protect your eyes. So how did that come about in this whole fabrication phase of I got the Samurai and stuff, but I don't even know that background of you.
Yeah, well, it's the same kind of direction, I guess, because I had the Samurai and I had to learn how to work on it. So I wanted to build a set of rock sliders for it, because I wanted to take a rock crawling.
Okay.
So this is the reason why I took the course in community college, the welding course, was because I wanted to build a set of rock sliders.
There you go.
And I never actually finished that set of rock sliders in that class, but I ended up taking all the other welding classes that they offered. And then in 2015, we even got to go to FabTech in Chicago.
Oh, no kidding!
The welding department.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that was really cool.
That's huge.
And yeah, so I got my first job as a I got my first job sweeping floors in a fabrication shop in 2015.
Got to work your way up.
Yeah, I worked my way up from sweeping floors, and then I did sandblasting and powder coating, and then I ran a plasma tube cutter. And, I mean, they barely ever let me stick metal together. It wasn't even until my next job that I really learned how to weld. So I did production TIG for a while, and now I'm in a shop where we do everything.
Everything.
So that's been a really good learning experience.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, it's wild to see you post up the pictures on Instagram of you with the TIG machine going at it, and it's pretty cool. And
I was doing that earlier today, too.
I was going to say, you were welding some aluminum. You went to the fab school here, right?
Yeah, because Rough Stuff ain't here this year.
I know.
It sucks.
Sad.
So you found a welder. You knew that the fab school had a TIG welder that you could weld aluminum with, and you had to weld a shock tower.
Yep. Yeah, actually, we showed up there with my parts, and the dude offered to do it for us, and I was like, I can do it. It's cool.
Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? No, I know you're not like that, but you should have said that.
There was another 4,600 cars pit crew there working on his stuff at the same time. So he was welding on that, and I welded my own stuff together. So that machine was nice.
What was it?
It was a Miller 280.
Okay.
And it was kind of funny, too, because it had the water-cooled torch and everything, but they didn't have the water cooler going. So it kept getting hot on me.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Wow.
Why didn't they have the water cooler?
Well,
he said it wasn't plugged in.
We're in the middle of a desert.
But it was hella...
But we got generators.
It was funny because I was running this machine as hot as it would go, and I was pulsing the foot pedal.
Yeah, your foot pedal.
With my foot, and so every time I'd pulse it to drop a piece of the rod, the generator would kick up too.
Oh, man.
So I'm like, come on, little generator, come on.
How funny.
So I'm curious, kind of going back to Matt here, has there been any response from fans or people that follow the Jessi Combs Foundation with the announcement of the support for Amber in the King of the Hammers?
Yeah, we have gotten a lot of response, and usually it kind of comes. We'll see it through social media, but then we'll also see it through some supporters, maybe at a higher level that are company related, that kind of thing. And that's been great to see. Our goal was really to start being able to give back as quick as we could.
Sure.
And this was a really nice way to be able to plug in and give back to Amber and her crew and her team and her effort to finish this race.
Awesome. Opening doors, man. That's what it's all about.
That's it.
Well, it is, and it's cool because, I've been in this genre, this lifestyle, the Ultra 4 lifestyle, if you will, as a fan for many years, and then Chris and I started this podcast, and I'm like, we got to talk about Ultra 4 because it's what we love and love the community. And, there's some big players out here that we consider big players, but you can walk up to any of those quote-unquote big players, and they're so down to earth, and you introduce yourself, and just like you walked up to Levi Shirley today, and you're like, hey, Chris from Wheeling Wine and Whiskey, and blah, blah. And, and then Matt, I didn't meet until a couple days ago, and I'm like, oh, my God, Tribe 16, and we're in your pit.
Right.
It's just super cool how welcoming everybody is in this community, and we all put our pants on one leg at a time, and
exactly.
I love that aspect, and I hope this never goes away.
I do too.
In this sport.
I do too.
And all these stories that unfold throughout this whole deal, and just with the Jessi Combs Foundation supporting Amber now this year, and it's so good. So good.
So as the foundation grows, and I assume it's continuing to grow,
it is.
What does the future look like? Is there a future to continue supporting Amber indefinitely, or is it?
Yeah, as long as she'll have us.
And are you looking at other potential proteges? What's the word for
Always.
it?
That's actually been a topic of conversation. I don't know how far out it is. It's years plural, I'll say.
Right.
But we would love to identify, an opportunity kind of like Jessi was.
Yeah.
Awesome. To help support. And Amber is certainly that.
Of course.
Then, as you grow into that. But Jessi was ready to build a top shelf car.
Oh, man.
Not that she didn't race a top shelf car, but she was, I have intimate knowledge.
4400 car.
Yes, I have intimate knowledge of some plans in play. That was going to be a lot of fun. That car was going to be a lot of fun. So we would like to see more female racers. Amber, it's awesome having her here. We see, Bailey. I believe there's a couple others. Bailey Campbell, a couple others out there, and you'd like to see. It's a male-dominated sport.
It really is.
Just like the trades, etc.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a lot of what we're trying to support women in. Male-dominated trades or male-dominated industry. So we're trying to help, promote and support the women that are coming up through these events.
So what's your primary source for raising money for the Jessi Combs Foundation right now? I mean, you've got industry support. I mean, how do people donate? How do you guys generate money?
One of our biggest opportunities has been an exclusive sticker. That's what you get in return.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So it's black and gold.
$50 sticker.
It is a $50 sticker. Yeah, and it's really a $50 donation.
It is.
But we recognize the donation by sending you a sticker. And the only way you will ever be able to get this sticker is a donation. Yeah. And that's actually been a way for anybody to help be able to support the foundation. That's been a great thing. We have had some other donors, some just big donors that have helped us.
Drop some money on you.
Pete Watkins from Dexterous Engineering.
Okay.
SEMA. The very first year we were formed, he kind of came to us, and he does this thing called Hammers and Hops during SEMA. And he had a lot of donations for this Hammers and Hops event. Christian Sosa, who's another fabricator, allowed this to happen in his shop in Vegas.
Yep.
And Pete raised $12,000.
Oh my God!
Handed us a baggie of $12,000 from raffle ticket sales.
Holy moly.
He had some great stuff that they were giving away, and you're buying a raffle ticket for a chance to win something. You don't even know what it is. I mean, it wasn't like you're buying a raffle ticket for this widget over here. You were buying a raffle ticket for an opportunity to win something. So all those people really came together, and they're buying raffle tickets to help support the cause.
Sure.
But in return, they got something cool.
Yeah,
so Pete,
you got potential.
Pete's about to announce something that's really neat. That he's got some tricks up his sleeve for this year.
Okay.
That will be a way bigger scenario than what we were just describing.
So
I can't release it yet.
No.
But I'll put a little teaser out there.
No,
because
that's
it's
great.
Pretty cool.
Well, now, where would they? I mean, will that be just announced on social media, or will it be on
That's
your
probably
website?
the best place to find it. It would be Dexterous Engineering, and I believe it's Dexterous ENG, and it's not Dexterous or any of that. It's Dexterous. OUS. So, great dude. But he's got some neat things coming that help support us, and he's making a shift. Amazing metal fab guy. Right, fits in the fold of the industry of what Jessi was all about too. So
awesome.
So I live in the Bay Area in San Jose, and I've seen some of the gold stickers, Jessi Combs stickers on the back window, right, of pickup trucks.
Yeah.
They've been forged, by the way. So I'll go up to them, and I freaking, I'm like, yes, give them the thumbs up or whatever, and they're like, they give the thumbs up back. So it's pretty cool seeing those out in the wild.
For sure.
So, very cool. Amber, so you are upon race day here. This is Tuesday evening. Friday is your race. You just fixed, you did some pre-running and have fixed your car. You already told us on the last podcast how much better your suspension is and everything. So how you feeling going into race day? You got to do some more pre-running tomorrow, and then Friday's game on.
Yeah, it's game on. I'm feeling okay about the course. I haven't actually gotten to pre-run as many trails as I wanted to. So far, I've only done Sledgehammer, but my brother, who's co-driving the rocks, has done a lot more rock trails than I have. So as long as he knows where to go, I'm a little bit more confident in that.
Sure.
Good.
And now that the car's suspension is actually set up, I have a lot more confidence in that. So this year, the plan is to be out driving the motor instead of the suspension.
Okay, there you go. I
so
like
hopefully
that.
I run out of motor.
like that.
I still got to get my carb tuned. Still runs like crap right now.
Really?
I have a guy for that.
You got a guy for that?
Yeah, somewhat of an appointment.
Is that happening tomorrow?
Either tomorrow or Thursday.
Okay.
Because
right.
tomorrow's a pre-running day and then Thursday is not. So
all right.
It's always so interesting how everything seems to come together in time for the race, but it never fails. You could have an extra week. Everybody says if I could get one more week before we leave for the lake bed.
Yeah.
If you had an extra week, it still wouldn't be 100%. You're still coming together.
No.
Yeah, you're still coming together right in time for the race.
I mean, look at you could walk around even up here in Hammertown Heights. You could walk around down Pit Row, and people are still banging and clanging. And it's just, I can make this thing just a little bit better, or I can tighten that up a little bit more, or I can, just make that adjustment just a little bit better. Who knows?
With things come together on race week, I came here with 2 spare tires because I didn't have enough rims. I didn't have enough wheels. And Dawson Alley hit me up like 3 days before I left, and he's like, I've got this set of wheels you could use.
Awesome.
But they have 37s on them.
Yeah, I totally forgot to ask what tire size was on them. I just assumed they were 31s, and he assumed I ran 35s, and here I am with a set of 35s.
But it all came together, so we got to load up those wheels with 37s.
35s.
Or 35s, I'm sorry, 35s. Yeah. And you had your tires to swap out from your rig, so you drove your rig over, and then we all hopped onto Matt's new Willys, new to him, high hood Willys. What year is that thing?
Oh, man, I knew you were going to ask me
40
that.
something? What is that?
I think it's like 50.
Kobe? 53, 54, in that genre. I mean, pretty much bone stock, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's badass, and so we're all there, and we're like, okay. He goes, no, hop on the hood, hop in the back, hop on wherever, just hop on. And I'm literally sitting on the cowl of this damn thing with the windshield down, going through Hammertown with 4 tires in the back to go over to the Falcon.
The parade wave?
Yeah, we did do the parade wave. We gave the Princess parade wave. And it was total clown car. And then we go over to the Falcon booth to drop all that off. And your car, you walked away from your car, which I thought was impressive because the guy at Falcon, what was his name?
Doug. Yeah.
Doug. Everybody knows Doug. So Doug goes, just leave your car here. We're going to lunch. We got to figure out some Wi-Fi stuff, and then we'll get you figured out. Come back in an hour. And you just walked away from your car, which I don't think I could do, regardless of what race car I had. And you're like, okay, no problem. And
Justin Hall left his there the other day.
I know, but I'm just like, okay. I don't leave my keys with anybody, even Lorenzo, because, he does some crazy stuff. So.
Hey, I don't need keys to start your rig.
I know. That's the problem. She is the only person that has driven my buggy and knows how to start my buggy. So,
well, who taught her?
So anyways, that was cool. So riding over there and getting tires set up, but all this additional support, and I know how down to earth you are, Amber, and you're like, okay, it's just another day and life, but you have so much support behind you, and this with Jessi Combs Foundation stepping up. I mean, that's got to really underscore, and I know you realize how freaking cool this is, but you are a big deal, and it's super cool to call you a friend, and you've done all these podcasts with us, and have Matt here from Tribe talking about all this. It's this is Ultra 4 racing at the grassroots level, and that's what I love.
That's what it's all about.
Didn't think I'd be here in a year.
I know.
Next year you'll be in a 4800 car.
Well, and that's it. That's what I'd be afraid of seeing.
Don't be afraid.
I'd be afraid.
I'd be afraid to see her in a 4800 car because she has no fear. You've got zero fear. And I mean, I was out pre-running some of these trails yesterday, and I'm like, holy crap! And I'm rolling in 43s in my buggy, and I'm like, I can't imagine doing this trail in 31s. We constantly said that yesterday, and you're like, no big deal. So I would hate to see what you would do at the unlimited class level, but we are looking forward to seeing you kill it on Friday. Matt, anything else to add? Tribe 16 supporting Jessi Combs Foundation.
No, nothing I can think of. I think we kind of covered a lot of it. We're happy to be able to do it. The entire team at Tribe's excited. It's one thing to root for you when you're watching the Jumbotron. It's another when you're part of the program.
Part of
and everybody's excited.
That is super cool.
Yeah, I mean, we're very fortunate and excited to be a part of that and a part of your finish on Friday.
Awesome.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Best of successes. Best of successes on Friday.
Amber,
the good F word.
The good F word.
I love that. That's awesome.
I love it. Finish. Anything else, Amber? You want to cover? Did we cover everything? We good?
We covered more than I expected to.
Wow.
I told you
How
I'm
about
bad
that?
at these things.
No, you do great. You're so down to earth. It's great. All right. We got anything else?
Nope. I think we covered it. Best of success. Look forward to seeing all the action on Friday.
Heck yeah. Friday, EMC. It should be Every Woman Challenge.
Every EWC.
EWC, Every Woman Challenge on Friday. Amber Turner, Tribe 16, and Jessi Combs Foundation helping you out. So freaking cool. I can't wait to watch this go down. You are so ready this year.
Sweet.
You know that.
Love it.
Your cars is great. So, thank you, Matt, for being here, carving out some time. Amber, I know you got like 6 more interviews to do after this. So, thank you. The news channel, the local news channel's outside our door right now.
Perfect.
So,
and on that note, we're out.
See you guys.
There you go. Another interview there.
Holy moly, what great information.
Well, and
great group of people.
That was a marriage made in heaven right there. You got Jessi Combs Foundation sponsoring Amber this year.
Heck yeah.
At KOH 2021. And, and she's so down to earth. She doesn't realize how big she is. I don't think she realizes that, honestly.
She's kind of a big deal.
She is a huge deal. Huge. But it's cool to see her get recognized by, what foundation that is what Jessi Combs was all about.
Absolutely.
Empowering women to go out, motorsports, whether it has 2 wheels or 4 wheels.
Right.
Fabrication.
Right.
I mean, my God. And she is the epitome of what Jessi Combs was.
Absolutely. Getting your hands dirty, getting into it, and making it happen.
Yeah. And then against all the odds, as if KOH isn't hard enough to try and do it in a Suzuki Samurai on 31s.
31s, yep.
I mean, Amber's one of the toughest, if not the toughest, racers out on course during that week, in my opinion.
She's tough as nails, And
yeah.
I mean, to see the trails and to see what your outer limits, Spooners. I mean, come on. Are you kidding
so
me?
I'm doing those. I'm pre-running those trails with Kevin Jones on 43s, and it's challenging on 43s.
Yeah.
No. You couldn't pay me enough to do it on 31s. I would just be like, no. And Amber happily does it with a smile on her face.
Oh, heck yeah.
And, bring it on. Give me a harder trail. Is this all you got?
Whoa.
Seriously. I'm serious. She is the most fearless person I've ever met. That just, and she does it with a smile on her face.
Yeah.
I mean, we're doing these crazy trails at Trail Hero and stuff, and I'm just like, and she's just, all right, this looks great. This looks fun. I'm like, I'm a little nervous right now.
Well, she's unflappable.
She really is.
And that's super cool. And she's always got a smile on her face. Her attitude is great. I mean, with adversity, to see the challenges they went through in the time I was down at KOH, they went out pre-running and they came back that one of the evenings and they're banging and clanging on the rig. I think they were doing something with steering and they were doing something with the bearing or whatever. It's like, holy moly. And she still had a smile on her face. Oh, yeah. It's like the car got beat up and she's still she's still happy.
Okay, so I got to share this story. So Amber's out there on the race course. She flattened her springs on the very first jump.
That's right.
Right off the start line.
Right, exactly.
But it still performed better, she said, than it did last year, because last year she flattened springs or something.
So the Deaver springs, even bent, were better than the factory
Exactly.
Okay. That's awesome.
So she's out there on course on her first lap coming into main pit. So we knew she was coming into pit, so all of us are in main camp that we're watching and stuff and listening on radios, and we go, okay, Amber's coming into pit. So we all ran down.
I watched this on TV.
Yeah, and so we go to the Tribe 16 pit.
Yep.
And I'm like, so we were there about 15 minutes before she rolled in.
Okay.
And again, Tribe people they're my people. They're great people.
The beauty of ham comms.
I want to go to Texas and just hang out in their shop for a week. But anyways, so we're in their pit, and this was hilarious. So Dolly, her mom, is on the comms and stuff, and Amber goes, hey, we got enough fuel. We're just going to keep going. Don't want to time out.
Right.
Whatever. I know she was on a mission. And so Dolly goes, absolutely not. You need to pull into pit. We have springs. We're going to get you changed out. We're going to get you back on course, And she's like, no, I'm good. And Doug, this is your mother speaking.
Oh, boy.
You are coming into pit. Media's here. Miles was standing right there with us.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember. Yeah, I saw the interview. Yeah.
And it was hilarious.
This is your mother speaking.
So it's her daughter and son that are in the Suzuki Samurai. And Ma is talking.
Ma dropped the hammer.
And when Ma talks, you listen. So it was freaking hilarious.
That's awesome.
So guess what? Amber pulled into pit. She almost bypassed it. I don't know if they showed it on the live feed. She was heading for the start-finish line to finish lap 1. And yelling, they're yelling at her to turn it. So she ends up going up this big ass berm, and to come into main pit. Within 15 minutes, they had 2 new leaf springs on there.
Right.
Splash of fuel, checked everything out, did a few other things, got them water and some chow.
Granola bars or whatever.
Yeah, whatever they were munching on that day. Very cool. But got to give a shout out to Matt. This is great. This guy was camped next to us with a Suzuki Samurai.
Right.
And I don't know if he knew Amber before or what, or if he knew us through the podcast, whatever. I know he listens to the podcast, but super cool. So Matt, who is 87_super_Zook.
Right on.
ZUK. Took the springs. They took the springs, Tribe 16. He drove his Samurai to the pit. They took the springs off his Samurai.
Put it on cinder blocks, right?
Pretty much. Out in Hammertown.
Stripped your rig.
and donated his springs for Amber.
Yeah.
How freaking cool is that?
Dude, that's KOH, baby.
This is why I'm into four-wheeling and stuff.
This is the epitome of KOH. This is so many stories about people doing. I mean, look at Levi Shirley throwing down a drive line.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody also donated a carburetor to Amber.
Well, and then there was another part that Eve got that was by happenstance because they were hauling some extra parts out to people in a box, and that part was there. But anyways, and Matt hooked us up with a little bit of bourbon and tequila too that we'll talk about on our KOH Wrap podcast. But anyways, it was cool. Main pit. Miles is in there talking to her, and Amber and Stuart took off and off to the rock section, and then unfortunately she timed out again, but it wasn't from a lack of effort, and she made it further than last year, and each year she's getting closer, and I mean,
getting better at it.
You finish that race. I mean, how many? I don't know. I can't verify this right at the moment, but I know only a handful of cars, and I think it was only 2 that may have finished in her class, in the 4600 class, in time.
So I heard different numbers, but I've heard that the attrition is like 70%.
Yeah. So I need to verify that number and see, but it's very, very low in that 4600 class how many people actually finish within time.
Right. Well, we can look that up, and that'll be in the next episode.
Well, there you go.
For sure.
Bonus stuff. But this is great.
Great story.
I mean, there's so many more stories to tell, but it's like I said earlier, it's been an honor to be part of, telling her story. I mean, we're just a couple people talking into a mic, and befriended Amber, and they've adopted us now. I'm just honored.
Super cool people.
Yeah, and then it just evolves from there, right? Good people attract good people, and Tribe 16 coming in, Jessi Combs Foundation. I hope I know they realize who she is and how humble Amber is,
and what her potential is.
And oh my God, the potential is astronomical. So
she's young. I mean, it's just crazy.
I can't wait to see what the future holds, and I hope the Jessi Combs Foundation and Amber continue working together, because that is a match made in heaven right there. So,
and when she takes off, I hope she doesn't forget about us little people.
That's right. Don't forget about us, Amber, the little guys here at Wheeling Wine and Whiskey.
Love you. You're awesome.
Absolutely. So, hope you guys enjoyed this bonus episode. There's more to come.
Absolutely.
Stay tuned. we give till it hurts here on the Wheeling Wine and Whiskey podcast. So great time. Again, you know how to get a hold of us. Just Wheeling Wine and Whiskey on the IG. If they want to, you want to hit us personally on the email, Jason or Chris at wheelingwineandwhiskey.com. Go to wheelingwineandwhiskey.com. That'll direct you to other podcasts, our giveaways, stuff that's going on with us, discount codes, all that good stuff. So Patreon, if you want to throw some money at us for whatever reason. We've got people that have helped us out immensely here. This thing's taken off. All the people we met at KOH and all the swag we handed out. I'm so excited. It's been fun to meet some of you listeners out there, and I'm looking forward to doing our KOH wrap. But for now, that's all I got to say about this bonus episode. But absolutely incredible. And again, I wish I was back on the lake bed.
Me too. And on that note, we're out.